Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can design the mockup of a website using Adobe XD. Alright, let's start. Okay, this is the final result that I have here in Adobe XD. I already created this website using Adobe Illustrator on my last video. The idea is to show you how you can design the same website in Adobe XD. In my opinion, in Adobe Illustrator, I have more tools to do different drawings and to create design. But in Adobe XD, I have more elements to create interactivity and to multiply. You will see a few things here in this video. All right, let's start with Adobe XD. I'm gonna close this document because I don't need this, and I'm gonna create a new project in Adobe XD. I'm gonna keep my Illustrator behind. Okay, in this part, I have the web 1366, but I would like to work with 1280. Okay, here in Adobe XD is more simple than in Illustrator. In Adobe XD, I have just a few tools to design. You see, rectangle, circle, triangle, lines, the pen tool, and it's pretty powerful, the pen tool here, text page tool, and magnify glass or zoom tool. You can see you don't have all the versatility that you have in Illustrator. But for a simple website, it's good enough. And here on the right, I have the properties panel. Whatever you design, you can see the properties. For example, if I create a rectangle like this, look at that. Now you can see all the properties for that rectangle, okay? If you have nothing selected, and then if you click on the page, you will see the properties of the site, okay? This one is 1280, and the height, which is here, let's say I'm gonna put 2400, enter. Okay, and if I zoom out, command minus a few times, and then I can hold on the space bar, and you will see that little hand if you want to navigate. Okay, you can see that it's going to be the size of the website. This line represents, okay, the view, the size of the height, the view height. You can see the viewport height is 800. From here to here, 800 pixels. And it's suppose you are going to have from here down scroll, okay? That is the idea of the view height. Let's take a look at what I did in Illustrator. The first step, I create this big rectangle covering the entire background. Okay, and you can see here, if I go to the appearance panel, if I take a look here, what is the color? I'm gonna switch this to RGB. Okay, here you can see the code of the color code, the sexagesimal code, and I would like to use the same one. Okay, in Adobe XD, instead to create that big rectangle, what I can do is just tint the color of the page. Okay, I can just paste the color there, enter, and this is the background color of the same artboard, the same page. In addition, here I can see web 1280. Okay, I'm gonna put here, for example, desktop 1280. I like to put those names. I know that it's a desktop size, and 1280 is the size. Then in Illustrator, if you notice here, I create this background. Looks like a gradient. It's the same gradient that I have here. I did this gradient with a mesh tool. I love to work with a mesh tool. It's very nice to create this organic gradient. On the side, this one is 960, but around 1200. Okay, let's see what I can do in Adobe XD. I'm gonna go to XD and I'm gonna create just a rectangle. I can put my mouse around here. I'm gonna create a simple rectangle. And here now I can put the width. Okay, I'm gonna put the width here in 960. Okay, and I'm gonna put, for example, 1200. Then I can move this, and you will see I have 160 on each side. That indicate you are on the center of the page. Okay. Then I don't need border. Here on the right, I can remove the border, and I'm gonna click on the fill. And here, I would like to see what is the colors that I use here. I'm gonna select with the white arrow. I'm gonna click there. Okay, I can click here on the fill in Illustrator, and I'm gonna take a look to the color that I select. Okay, let me double check. That is the color, because I would like the same color. And if I select this, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go to the fill, and here I have the solid color, and I can switch to the gradient fill, which is one, and I can switch also to the radial fill. Okay, and I'm gonna select this stop. Okay, and with this stop, and here I can put the color. I'm gonna paste the color, enter, and I have that color. Then in Illustrator, I'm gonna take a look what is this color, okay, and that is going to be the second step of my colors. I'm gonna go here, and that is the color. In that case, I am going to put this other color with that code. Perfect. I can see it's a kind of a similar gradient, but in addition, I have the color that goes almost to black. That is the only thing that I have to do. In that case, I am going to move this stop here more to the left, something like this. I'm going to put more in angle, diagonal. I am going to move this guy to the position that I saw there. Okay, I can play around with the roundness. Okay, and then I'm going to stretch up to here. And what I'm going to do in order to create another color, I'm gonna just click around here to add a new stop there that I'm going to put more near to the other one. And I'm gonna select the last one, and here on this panel, I'm gonna move all the way down until black. Okay, and look at that, looks pretty cool. You see that kind of gradient that I have here, and I can start playing around with the roundness, okay, whatever you want. In my opinion, maybe Illustrator is much better to create gradient, but here it's not bad. In addition, the other advantage that I have here, if I want, I can stretch all the way down this. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna go here to the gradient, and I'm gonna move this guy here, because this is my goal. I would like to put this color that goes to black. Okay, let me put this one more on the top. You see, that is my goal. This one is like a spot of light that is inside the cool cafe, bar, or a pub there. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Illustrator, and looks kind of the idea. Okay, all right, what else? Then what I would like to put, I would like to put the band, the jazz band that I have there. In this case, okay, look at what you can do, guys. If you go to internet, you can search here, for example, jazz band is, I have there silhouette, okay, just band silhouette. Then I can go here to the images, then you can select one of these guys, and I can just right click on this one, copy the image, then I can go to Illustrator, I'm gonna paste, okay. And one of the advantage that you have in Illustrator is here you can image trace, and I can convert this on silhouette. Okay, and look at that. Now this is vector, okay? Because if I go back, I'm gonna Command Z. If I zoom, you can see these are pixel. But if I select image trace, I can select here silhouette. Now you have vectors, okay? You can see that part is pretty cool. Then I can expand, and I can change for whatever color that I want. You can see, for example, I can put something like that. It's not my idea, but just to let you know. And then I can just copy this. I'm gonna copy. Okay, but not this one. I'm gonna copy the one that I'm using, which is one. I can copy. I'm gonna go here to the edit, copy. All right, and then I can go here to my Adobe XD. Okay, and I am going to paste, edit, and I can paste. You see, and then I can put the jazz band here on this position, and looks pretty cool. When you copy paste between Illustrator and Adobe XD, you will bring this image as a scalable vector graphic, SVG. Okay, and that is cool because it's vectors this. All right, but also the other option that you have, you can create a background that is a JPEG. That is another alternative. What I'm trying to say is this. For example, here, if I go to Illustrator, you can create all these things in Illustrator. Okay, I can select the background, I can select this guy, and all these elements that I have here, I'm gonna right click and gonna select export selection. Okay, export selection, and then I can select here, I'm gonna select on my desktop, I'm gonna create a new folder on the desktop. I'm gonna put here done. Okay, I'm gonna select choose. All right, and I'm gonna export, I can export as a PNG, but in this case, I would like to export as a JPEG, 80% of quality. Yeah, that is okay. I'm gonna select, I'm gonna change the name, band, okay, and I'm gonna export. And now in this case, what I have here, I'm gonna show you the folder. I have my image, okay, this is an image that is the background, and if you want you can go to Adobe XD, okay, I'm gonna show you here the band, and instead to put this image, okay, there, what I can do, I can just create, okay, the same rectangle that I create there, and I can just drag and drop this image there inside, and you will have pretty much the same. Okay, you can see you have those alternatives. If you want, you can bring the background as a JPEG, but in this case, if I want to just move to another part, this just band maybe a little up or a little down, I prefer to import the SVG. All right, let's go back to Adobe Illustrator, and now I would like to show you how we can create the top area. Let me zoom a little bit. Okay, the first part, I would like to create this rectangle, like a banner rectangle. Okay, let's go to Adobe XD, and I am going to draw a rectangle like this. Okay, and here on the size, the width is going to be 1000. Okay, and the height, let's say, for example, 250. And then if I select the selection tool, I can start moving, and over a sudden you will know that it's on the center. Okay, and now I would like to change how many pixels I have from the top. Instead of 36, I would like to put here, for example, 50 pixels from the top. Okay, and now the distance that you have from there is 60 pixels, 50. And then I would like to add a color. I'm gonna take a look Illustrator. What is the color that I have here? I can go to my color palette, and there I can see the color. I'm gonna copy, I'm gonna go back, and here I'm gonna remove the stroke. I'm gonna click on the fill, I'm gonna paste the color and enter. All right, I have the color. But if you notice here in Illustrator, I have this gradient, okay? And in that case, what you can do is you can add a shadow. I'm gonna click on the shadow, and boom, you have a shadow there. If you want to edit the shadow, what you can put, if you want to see a little darker, X is going to be 0, and then the Y, and here how blurry is that shadow. And I'm gonna keep what it is. I like how that looks like. But in addition, look at here, I create this kind of a ribbon on those triangles that you can create in Adobe XD. How you can do that? First, I am going to zoom with my magnifying glass. I'm gonna go to this part, and then I am going to create just a rectangle. My rectangle tool is going to be this size. I had to remove the border. Then I'm gonna double click on the rectangle, and I can select this anchor point, and then you can just delete. And I'm gonna select the fill. I'm gonna put black, okay, and you got it. Then I'm gonna copy this, right click, I can copy. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the left, okay, to put on the other side. I'm gonna right click and paste, okay, and it's there. I'm gonna put in the correct position, okay. And what you can do here, you can flip horizontally, okay. I'm gonna click there, and now it's flipped. Command 0 to see the whole thing, okay. The magnifying glass, I'm gonna zoom on this area, and then I'm ready to continue. Okay, what now? I would like to create this kind of Polaroid or slide frames. I'm gonna copy one of these ones just to show you how the final result. I'm gonna just copy. I'm gonna go here to XD. I'm gonna paste, okay, just to see what I want. Okay, and this is the idea. I'm gonna put here on the side how similar I can create something like that. Okay, first, if you see the side is a rectangle, something around. I'm gonna put something around like this. Yeah, maybe something like that. Put here 200, okay, and the height 200. Okay. I'm gonna zoom to show you more. Okay, it's easier for you guys to see this. Okay, the first step, I'm going to remove the border. I don't need border, but what I would like is shadow. Okay, and I'm gonna create here the shadow. I'm gonna put shadow. It's going to be the same shadow that I have on this one. 036, okay, and for this one is 036. I like it. Then I'm gonna create a second rectangle inside. I'm gonna select my rectangle tool, and I'm gonna create another rectangle, maybe like this. And I'm gonna remove the stroke. I'm gonna add another fill just to show you something. Look at this, guys. With the black arrow, you can select this rectangle, hold on the shift, and select this other one. Okay, and here on the top you have the alignment. If I click on this one, you will align between elements. Let me show you again. For example, if I move this, I'm gonna select one click on this other rectangle, and here on the top right, I can click here to align on the center both elements. And then you know the distance that you have from here to here is the same. I'm gonna move a little up. Okay, maybe something like that. I like it. Okay. And then one of the things that I can do, I'm gonna go to my desktop, and here I have the material. Let me show you the images that I'm going to use. These are the same images that I have on Illustrator. And I'm gonna use the first one, which is this image. You can just drag and drop the image inside the rectangle and boom, it's there. It's super easy. And then if you want to increase the size of the image, what you can do is just double click, and I am going to stretch. Okay, and maybe I'm gonna move a little bit. Oh, by the way, you don't have to hold on the shift or nothing else. Just stretch the image. Okay, and double click outside. And it's looking good. And then if you see this tint that is a little brown, what I can do, I can create another rectangle over like this. Okay, I'm gonna remove the border. I'm gonna put the fill with the one of the colors that I'm going to use. It's going to be a little more like a brown, maybe one of those colors. Okay, and here on the top, can you see the word normal? I'm gonna select here, for example, color. And you can colorize that. There are other blending modes that I can use. I can change the opacity as well, and it's looking nice. Okay, what about the duct tape, this masking tape? What I can do, I can create just a small rectangle like this. All right, I'm gonna move the stroke again, and I'm gonna add a color, something maybe slightly yellowish, like a tape. And then select the selection tool, and I would like to modify the corners. Let me zoom a little bit because I'm gonna make more sense if I zoom. All right, what I have to do here in order to modify the corners, double click on this element on any part inside. And then you can see this guy, I can move this guy, okay, but I'm applying to move maybe a little like this. And if you position the mouse between two anchors point, I can click and drag, okay, and you can create like somebody cut that tape. You see, I'm gonna create another one. Let's say something like that. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna move this one a little down. All right, perfect. Then I'm gonna click outside, click again to select the whole thing, and I'm gonna put around here. All right, and then if you put the mouse a little outside, you have the option to rotate this element. You can see. Also, you can put the degrees here on the properties panel. And then I'm gonna reduce a little bit the opacity, like the tape is there, maybe overlapping a little bit the image. Okay, Command minus a few times to zoom out. And you see, it's pretty much the same. It's the same thing that I create in Illustrator. Then I'm gonna select all these elements. You can see everything is selected, and I am going to group. Okay, from the object menu, you can group, or you can right click and group as well. Perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom out like this. I'm gonna put around here because this is my goal to put there. I would like to show you something here on the left. I have the option to access to the layers. Okay, when you access to the layer, you're gonna see path, rectangle, all the things. And I would like to name this group, and I'm gonna call this one, for example, just slide 1. Okay, just to put a name, and then if I go to the layers, I know that is the element. And if I click, I can see all the elements that I have inside. And you can see the picture is there. Okay, look at what I'm planning to do. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna copy paste, Command C, Command V. I can move to the right. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the left. And this one is going to be just slide. I'm gonna put the number 2. Okay, copy paste. I'm gonna put another one here on the right, and I'm gonna call this one the number 3. Okay, why I'm doing this? Because look at this. This one I'm gonna move a little maybe to the left. If you see the design on Adobe Illustrator, you see it's a little tilt to the left, this one to the right, and this one to the left. Okay, I'm gonna select this one a little to the right, maybe like this, and the last one a little to the left. Okay. All right, I kind of like this design. I'm gonna zoom a little bit, but I would like to do a few changes. For example, the first one is okay. I'm gonna keep what it is. The second one, which is this one here, I'm gonna click on the little folder. I'm gonna select here the image. I'm gonna right click, and here what you can do, you can replace the image. And then I'm gonna select the just to import, and boom, look at that. That is pretty cool because you don't have to recreate everything again. All right, then I'm gonna select this path, and then I would like to rotate a little bit also. Maybe I'm gonna rotate like that. This is going to be a little different than the other one. Perfect. Let's repeat on the last one, the slide 3. I'm gonna select here just one, right click, and select here replace image. I'm gonna select the number 3, okay, and it's there. Okay, in any time if you want to move the image, you can just double click over the image and you can drag as well. All right, I'm gonna select the tape here, the path, and I'm gonna slightly move here, maybe a little more to the right like that. Perfect. I'm happy with the result. Okay, everything is okay. And now let's create the coffee cup and the music note. In Illustrator, I did this music note, okay, on the way that I show you that you can import, you can image trace, and then you can put there. Okay. You have the option, if you don't use Illustrator, you have the option that, for example, you can import a PNG. You see here, I have a folder, and I can select this element. It's a PNG that I found in internet, okay? And if you do that, what you can do, you can just drag and drop this PNG here, and you can start playing around. But since I know Illustrator, I prefer to bring the vectors, okay? And I am going to copy this. I'm going here to the edit copy. And then I'm going to go to XD, and I'm going to just right click and paste. Okay. And I'm going to put this on this side. All right, I'm going to select the 3 element. With the shift key, you can select multiple elements. And then I'm going to bring to front. Okay, now you can see the music note is in the back. Guys, you can design those music notes in Adobe XD if you want, but it's gonna take a while, right? Or you can bring the element, you can trace, but it's too much time. Okay. The element that I believe is way much better to design in Illustrator is this 3D element. Okay guys, this is something pretty cool that I create in 3D in Illustrator. Just to show you something pretty quick, the one thing that I did, I create just one arc, I create just this piece like this, then I added a little thickness to this, and then I change the color, for example, and then the only thing that I have to do here, I go to the effect, 3D, revolve, okay, and if you see, the final result is pretty cool. Can you see? That is the way, I'm going to click cancel, that is the way that I create this coffee cup. Now I have a few options. I can copy and then I can paste in Adobe XD, but sometimes I have problem with the shadows. In that case, what you can do, you can select this element, right click, export, okay, export selection, and here I can select the element. I'm gonna select this one, cup, and the format is very important. The format, it has to be PNG. I'm gonna export asset. Okay, and now I can just drag and drop to Adobe XD, and it's there, the coffee cup, and looks nice. You see, you can do the same. If you don't have Illustrator, the other alternative, for example, I found this PNG, and then I can drag and drop, okay, and it's kind of big. I have to zoom out. It looks pretty cool because it's a 3D. Okay, I didn't create this one. I found in a stock images that I use. And I can put this, and look at that, it looks very nice, this, okay? But in order to keep the same design, I prefer to use the one that I create in Illustrator. You can see pretty much I have everything that I create in Illustrator. All right, let's talk about this area. Here I have the home, about, gallery, media, and contact. And you remember how I did this? I put the text and I put this square on the back, okay? What is the difference in Adobe XD? I'm gonna create, for example, a rectangle, let's say on this area. Okay, and in this rectangle, no stroke, and I'm gonna select a field, maybe the same field that I have on the music note. Okay, and then I'm gonna select the text tool. I'm gonna click on any part. Okay, I'm gonna center the text, and I'm gonna put here, for example, home. All right, I can put the text white. Select the arrow, and I'm gonna put over there. And then what I can do here, I'm gonna group this because I would like to keep this element together. Okay, and now this is a group. Okay, and I'm gonna call this one on my group here BTN. Okay, as a button, just to remember that group. And look at this. Here I can select repeat grid. Okay, if you see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna repeat the grid. Okay, and what I can do is this: 2, 3, 4, 5. This is so cool in Adobe XD, and I'm gonna put maybe this on the center of the page. Okay, and then I can put my mouse there, and I can drag more to the right. Okay, now it's on the center of the page. Yes, I like that. You see, that is super cool. And then I can double click on this guy. I'm gonna put here about. Okay, what else? Gallery, media, and contact. Okay, gallery. Okay, media and contact. All right, it's looking good. Then on this part, welcome to Cool Cafe. I'm gonna just copy the text. If you just paste this text, one of the things that you can do here on the right, I have this Helvetica. Let's say I would like to change for another one. The only thing you don't have here is the preview. Okay, and for example, I'm gonna use Juliet. I like this font. But I would like to see the preview. You can see that is by default, you can't. Okay. All right, then I'm gonna copy this element, copy here, and then I'm gonna create now a text box. Instead to just click, okay, with the type tool, I'm gonna click and drag to create a text frame. And now I'm gonna switch the Juliet. I'm gonna select, for example, Montserrat. Okay, the size is going to be 24, and then I can just paste. Let's continue. What else we have here? The icons. Okay, those icons look kind of nice. Let me copy those, and I'm going to paste here outside in XD, because just to show you, you can do this kind of icon in XD. Guys, there is one plugin. If you go here to the lowest left part of plugin, you can add plugin with the plus, and from here you can start searching for different plugins. Okay, there is one plugin here that is icons for design, and you can search here. For example, you can search, let's say, coffee. Okay, look at that. I have different coffee cups that I can use. For example, I'm gonna use that one, and automatically you have the icon. You don't have to design anything. Okay, but just to show you, and I can use just this one, just to show you, you can design. Look at this. I am going to go here. All right, and I would like to design something simple. First, okay, let me go back on the plugins. First, I would like to create a circle. I'm gonna make a circle here. Okay, then I'm gonna do the hole that is inside another circle. In order to put on the center with the black arrow, I'm gonna select both. And here I can align center, and I can align center. Okay, then if you see here, I have the Pathfinder. Okay, I'm gonna select the last one, and now you can see I have a hole there. You see, it's pretty cool. Then I'm gonna create a few more circles in this part. Okay, I'm gonna select this circle, for example, here. Hold on the option, and you can, or copy paste, and you can drag like that. Okay, I'm gonna select everything, and again, I'm gonna select that icon. And you have the hole there. You can see it's something that, yes, you can create. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna remove the border and the color. I'm gonna use the same color that I have here, and it's kind of similar. Okay, all right, the coffee cup. Here, what I can do is create just a rectangle like this. Then with the selection tool, I can double click on the center. I'm gonna select this guy, and I'm gonna use the arrows keys on my keyboard, guide. On my keyboard, when I'm talking about these keys, the arrows keys, all right? And then I'm gonna move this one to the left. But before you move, hold on the shift, because if you hold on the shift, you can go faster, you see? All right, but maybe I don't need the shift, because the shift is 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on the shift to the right is 10. Can you see? All right, I'm gonna do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna select this one, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, that is the way that you can create a shape like the one that you have here on the top. Okay. Or the other option, what I can do, I'm gonna create again a shape like this. Okay, and I would like to create a little of rounded corners. You can see, okay, and then I'm gonna select the tool. I'm gonna double click and I'm gonna select these two. Look at this, how I'm selecting these guys. Okay, double click on the center and click and drag to make a selection. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna select this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. It's looking like a mug. And then I'm gonna shrink a little bit. Perfect. Then the one on the top is pretty simple. Okay, you can just create two lines, or you can create rectangles like this one. All right, and here you can see the rectangle is very tiny. The width is just 7 pixels. But here you can put around the corner of this part and try to put even number. Okay, maybe around 8. Okay, for example, 8 pixels. Enter. Okay, and then I can put the rounder is going to, if I put here 4, okay, you can see 4 on each side is going to be 8. That is the radius of the roundness. Okay, hold on the option and drag to the right to duplicate that. Of course, I can select both, and with the arrows on my keyboard, I can put on the correct position. Okay, what about the handle? Oh, many different ways to do that. First, what I can do, I can just create a rectangle from here. I'm gonna create a rectangle like this. Then I'm gonna make the rounded corners like this. Okay. Then I'm gonna copy paste. Okay, you can see I have a second one. I'm gonna shrink, and I can put like this. Okay, maybe like that. All right. And I'm gonna stretch like maybe like this, a little more near to this guy. Okay, look at what I can do. I'm gonna select these two, and I'm gonna use the Pathfinder, that one. You can see you have the handle. Then I'm gonna select everything, and I'm gonna select the Pathfinder, this one. And look at that, I have that handle. And of course, if you double click, then you can start playing around with all these guys. If you want to change the roundness, if you want to be more accurate, okay, or I can double click and I can move this one a little more up. You can select both and you can align to the top. You can see to be more accurate, but can see it's doable. It's something that you can do. I prefer to do all these things in Adobe Illustrator, but here in Adobe XD, of course, is doable. I'm gonna put just no stroke and then the same fill color, and I have that. I'm gonna group it, right click and group. Okay, what else? This one is not that difficult. Let me show you. First, what I can do, I can create another rectangle. Okay, and what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna create rounded corners like that. Okay, and if you see the rounded corners here, I have 34, but I'm gonna select this one, and then the third one, I'm gonna put 0, and the last one 0. And look at what happened. You can see the bottom part is straight like that. If you want to add a little of roundness, okay, go ahead. And then with the black arrow, I would like to decrease a little the size. Okay, maybe I'm gonna create another rectangle around here that I can rotate a little bit. Okay, and with the arrow, I'm gonna put there. Okay, a tiny one here on the top. And you got the idea, guys. You can see it's not that difficult to create this kind of thing in Adobe XD. Okay, let me put everything aligned to the center, which is, okay, and then I can create, you have many options. You can work with the pen tool, okay, and I can just click, for example, here. I'm gonna click on this area. Look at this. Click and start dragging, like this. Okay, and then you can click here at the end, something like that. Okay, and if you see this, you can just click the escape key. And then you can select this guy. You can start playing around with the roundness. You can move this here to more to the bottom. Okay, you can start playing around of what is the shape that you want for this guy. Can you see? And then the only thing that you have to do is increase the border. See, I have the size 1. Let me put around 5. Okay. Then the color is going to be the same color here, and all these guys, I'm gonna no border, and the fill color is this. Okay, and you have that. You can see it's pretty similar. I'm gonna select everything, right click group, and I have those elements that I want to use. I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm done. Perfect. Guys, by the way, if you're going to use this element pretty often across the entire page, one of the things that I can do here I can go to my asset. Okay, I can select this one, and I'm gonna select this new component. Okay, and I'm gonna call this one donut. Then I select a new component. Okay, and this one select a new component. You can name it, and then you can reuse in other part. And then if if you want to do one change, you can apply that change to just one of those components, and then you can update all the other ones at the same time. Okay, perfect. It's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna put this one more to the left, and then the only thing that I have to do is apply this text. Okay, let's say I'm gonna do the same font. I'm gonna copy paste. I'm gonna move here to the bottom, and the size, let's say for example 18 maybe, maybe 22 is going to be much better. Okay, like that, and paste. Okay, I have food there. Okay, I have the size that I want. I'm gonna put this one in 24. And then I have text beneath that, and this text is inside a mini text box. I'm gonna go back here to my text tool, and I'm gonna create a small text box on this area. And before I paste, in order to do not paste with the same font, I'm gonna select here Montserrat, the font that I'm using. I'm gonna put here, for example, 18 point, regular, 22. Here, the space between lines. And then now you can paste and you have that side. By the way, if the text box shows this little red thing, what you have to do is stretch that in order to see the whole text. Okay, I have these two elements. I'm gonna move a little more up like this. And then I'm going to hold on the Option key, and I can drag to the right to put again that element here, and then hold on the Option and put here. Also, you can copy paste. There are many ways to do the same. I have food, then I have here coffee. I'm gonna go here, paste coffee with this text. By the way, I am going, of course, to include all these material, guys, on the description below. Okay, I forgot one E. And also I have here on the material, if you see, I have the whole text if you want to copy paste as well. Okay, just that alone, or if you want, you can just put dummy text as well. By the way, another plugin that is very useful is, if you go to the plugins, is the Ipsum plugin that is to insert dummy text in Adobe XD. Okay, it's pretty helpful, that plugin. All right, I'm gonna select here others, like tea or infusions, and then the last text that is here. All right, perfect, it's looking good. Okay, and then the last part is not that difficult, because look at this, it's just an image, text, and a line. All right, how we can do that? The image with rounded corners, and that is pretty easy. Just create a rectangle like this. I'm gonna put rounded corners. Okay, and then I am going to my asset, and the first image that I have to place, the image, let me see, is here. Okay, I'm gonna just drag and drop, and look at that, it's there. And then what I have to do, I am going to no border, and I will like the shadow, no border, and then I'm gonna put here text on the right. By the way, columns. In Adobe XD, you can work with columns, okay? And sometimes it's very helpful if you want to design something. Okay, first, click here on the name of the page, and here you have the grid. I'm gonna activate the grid, and you have layout is there. You see, you have a very nice grid. Can you see it's matching that? And then if you want to work with columns here, I'm gonna zoom. And let's say I would like to put this image touching on that column. Okay, and it's go up to just there, like that. Okay, and then I would like text, and here you have to decide how big you want the text. I'm gonna select my type tool, okay, and I would like to start the text from there up to here. You can see that is the idea of the text. What I have in Illustrator, okay, is this. Okay, I'm gonna America's Best Coffee. I'm gonna paste. And look at this, I'm gonna align to the left. I'm gonna put Montserrat, maybe here I'm gonna change to bold or extra bold, and I would like to put, for example, 24 point. Then I can just go here and enter. Okay, one of the things that I can do is just start with another text. For example, Montserrat is going to be here just the regular or medium. Okay, I'm gonna go here, select all this text, copy. And look at this, I'm gonna select the title, and the title here, I have the space after. Let's say I'm gonna put here 12 pixels, and you can see that it's going to be the space after. I don't have to enter. You can see the space between paragraph. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna deactivate the columns in order to continue working, but it's good to know it's there. Okay, and now I would like to create a line here from the left to the right, something like this. And this line is going to be maybe the same color that I have here on this coffee cup. And maybe it's going to be just, let's say 2 pixels. Okay, and now if you remember, one of the things that you can do, let me put here everything a little more to the top. And if you remember, one of the things that I can do, I can repeat the grid. Okay, and I'm gonna do this. 2, 3. Look at that, it's so good. If you think the page is not that big, you can put this one more up. Or one of the things that you can do, just select the desktop. Okay, and here you can stretch like that. Okay, and then select the background and stretch to the bottom like that. Okay, and the rest, the only thing that you have to do is just select this image. I'm gonna go to my material, and here I'm gonna drag and drop the second image, and here the third image. And of course, in Illustrator, I am going to copy the other text. Okay, something that is pretty straightforward to create this. And of course, maybe this text is going to be bigger than the other one. You have to double check, maybe you have more text space. Okay, in that case, just increase the size of the boxes. One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm gonna select everything, and look at this. When you select everything, you still have this element that you can continue repeating, for example, to the right if you want. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna select ungroup grid. Okay, and then I can start continue with separate grid. For example, if I want to remove this line at the end, okay, I can just select the line and delete. Okay, all right, you can see that is the idea. And then on the lowest part, the only thing that I have here is this menu on the bottom part. I'm gonna just copy that just to show you the final result, something pretty quick, because this video is pretty long. All right, Command 0 to fit. I am going to save this here on the top. I can name it. Okay, and I can save on the cloud. What is the advantage if you save on the cloud? Then you can access to any computer to download that. The only thing that you have to do is just log in Adobe XD with your credential of Adobe. Or I'm gonna save in this case on my computer, and then everything is done. Wow, that was a pretty long video. Guys, in the following videos, I am going to show you how you can create the other pages and how you can add interactivity to this prototype. Okay guys, I hope you like this video. See you on the next one. Bye.